Welcome everyone this evening to our budget meeting. If anybody wishes to vote, I just want to remind you, you must go to your respective towns and sign in and receive one of these green cards to hold up and vote. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to elect a moderator.
I nominate Mrs. Garrett.
I'll second that.
Cease nomination.
Second that.
All those in favor of Faith Carroll as moderator? Thank you.
Ready?
I'm ready. Ready as I'll ever be,
Do we need this?
probably.
Here, you can hold it.
Oh, thank you. I, Faith Garrell, swear to faithfully and impartially discharge the duties incumbent upon me for the office to which I have been elected, to the best of my ability and agreeably to the rules, regulations, statutes, and Constitution of the state of Maine, so help me God.
Thank you.
And there's your two clerks.
Yep, and then we could have the two clerks come up, please.
They're all signed.
And then read it together.
You want a copy to read? You want one to read?
Then can we say it together?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I,
Amber Poulin
Deborah Pleward,
solemnly swear to faithfully and impartially discharge the duties incumbent upon me for the office
to which I have been elected, to the best of my ability and agreeability to the rules, regulations, statutes, and Constitution of the state of Maine, so help me God.
thank you.
wouldn't you just remind people that are coming in late to check in?
Yep.
As
Just a reminder, those that have come in late, if you would check in with the clerks at the desk, they'll get you registered.
What's your extra?
I have to do one thing.
Okay.
I'd just like to give a brief introductory statement. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. It's a pleasure having you here. The budget that we're about to present to you, I just want to give you some informational facts. That the budget itself has shown an increase of $18,905, which is 0.19% over last year, which is less than 1/5 of 1%. And I do want to draw your attention that the budget total includes wage and benefit increases for contracts and reductions as a result of several budget workshops. The assessments, the overall increase is $23,814, which is 0.4152%, which is less than 1/2 of 1%. Our state subsidy decreased by slightly over $120,000 this year. The town mill rates were increased by the state from 8.23 to 8.30. Another fact, the adjusted percent based on the town's valuations went down in Searsport by 0.57% and went up in Stockton Springs by 0.57%. Last year, Searsport was at 55.34. This year, they're at 54.77%. In Stockton Springs, last year they were 44.66%. This year it's 45.23. The reason I bring that to your attention, when you look at the assessments, if there had been no change in the valuations, the overall increase to the assessments would have been broken up so that Searsport would have seen a $10,635.49 increase, and Stockton Springs would have seen a $13,178.86. But because of the change in valuations, Searsport went down and Stockton Springs went up. And one of the things that we've tried to do as a board is to keep the assessments as close to a 0% increase as possible. And the other important point to note is that the assessments to the towns have been offset by $600,000, which we contributed from the RSU 20's undesignated fund balance, which is like a savings, which includes this year's main PERS IUUAL credit settlement, which was over $460,000, and we looked at the fund balance that we had split with the old RSU 20 district from 2015.
There you go, Faith. Thank you.
Get it back in the... Okay, I guess we're ready to get started. You didn't shut it off, did you? Oh, it's on, okay. The warrant will be taken up in the order in which it is printed. A simple majority of those present and voting approves the question being considered. A written ballot is required only for item 14, that's to raise the local assessment, and that's a state requirement. Somebody needs to shut their cell phone off. As we consider each cost center, excuse me, a written ballot for other items may be moved from the floor, but that requires that 10% of the voters approve that motion before we would move to a written ballot on anything except item 14. As we consider each cost center and additional items, I will ask for a motion and a second before any explanations or discussions or questions. I will accept only one amendment at a time. If a move is made to amend an item, that motion will be taken up before any other motion, and we will not be amending amendments. If an amendment is successfully enacted, then we vote in the affirmative for the amendment and then take a final vote on the amendment as made. So anytime an amendment is made, there are actually two votes. That sometimes confuses people. A motion to move the question is not debatable, and if seconded, we move without further discussion. On all items, if a show of cards does not indicate a clear vote, I will ask the ballot clerks to conduct a count. And as usual, I expect courtesy to myself and to every other person participating in the meeting. With all that out of the way and all the swearing and so forth, we'll proceed. Article 1, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for regular instruction. The school board recommends $2,730,542.10. This includes pre-K through grade 12 salaries, benefits, and supplies. Could I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll move the question to see if the regional school unit will authorize the board to spend $2,730,542.10 for the article, excuse me.
Our sheet says $544.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misread it, thank you. The school board recommends $2,730,544.10. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 2, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to spend for special education. The school board recommends $2,286,015.27. This article includes costs for students receiving services other than provided by the regular program and all special education salaries, benefits, and contracted services. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments?
I have a question.
Question?
I'm just curious if the director's, special ed director's salary is included in that article?
Yes.
It is. And can you explain the increase? I do understand that the sped coordinator salary has been taken away because that's not going to be a position anymore. Is that why the salary increase was so high? That's a 64% increase.
Last year was a half-time position, and this year it represents a full-time position, but the elimination, as you mentioned, of the coordinator. Two different budget lines.
All right, anything else? All right, seeing none, I'll move the question. The recommended amount that the school board recommends for Article 2 is $2,286,015.27. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 3, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for career and technical education. The school board recommends $260,528. This article includes costs for instructional activities designed to prepare students for careers and future education beyond high school at the Waldo County Technical Center. May I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right. Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, I'll move the article. The recommended amount for Article 3 for the regional school unit to expend for career and technical education is $260,528. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The article carries. Article 4, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for other instruction. The school board recommends $159,379.37. This includes sports and leadership wages, officials' pay, sports transportation, and athletic supplies. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll move the question. To see what sum the regional school unit will authorize to expend for other instruction, the school board recommends $159,379.37. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 5, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for student and staff support. The school board recommends $1,034,267.63. This includes guidance, school nurse, technology, library, and applicable support staff. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
And seconded. Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, I'll move the question. Recommended amount for Article 5 for the student and support staff is $1,034,267.63. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 6, to see what sum the regional school unit shall be authorized to spend for system administration. The school board recommends $491,423.49. This includes the board of directors' pay, legal services, central office supplies, salaries, and benefits. Could I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll move the question. To see what sum the regional school unit be authorized to expend for system administration. The school board's recommendation is $491,423.49. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? Motion carries. Article 7, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for school administration. The school board recommends $467,514.66. This includes principals, assistant principals, support staff, benefits, and supplies. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll move the question. The school board recommends the amount of $467,514.66 for school administration. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 8, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for transportation and buses. The school board recommends $774,362. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll move the question. School board recommends the amount of $77,362 for transportation and buses. Those in favor of that motion?
Could you read that number again, please?
I'm sorry, $774,362. Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 9, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for facilities maintenance. The school board recommends the figure of $1,405,426.70. This includes salaries and benefits, property insurance, general utilities for all buildings and contracted services. Revolving renovation debt is also in this line. Could I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll move the question. Facilities maintenance, the school board recommends the figure of $1,405,426.70. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 10, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for debt service and other commitments. The school board recommends $243,663.78. This includes debt service. This amount decreases as the debt is paid down. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll move the question. Debt service recommended figure for the coming year is $243,663.78. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 11, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for all other expenditures. The school board recommends a figure of $190,735. This is for the food service expenses not reimbursed by the state. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll move the question. The amount for all other expenditures, which is the food service, school board recommends $190,735. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Articles 12 through 14, raise funds for the proposed school budget. Article 12, to see what sum the regional school unit will appropriate for the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, and to see what sum the regional school unit will raise and assess as each municipality's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, in accordance with Maine Revised Statutes Title 20A, Section 15688. Recommended amounts are set forth below. The total appropriated by municipality for the town of Searsport will be $4,916,104.75. For the town of Stockton Springs, the amount of $2,403,884.45, for a total of $7,319,989.20. The total to be raised and regional school unit assessment by municipalities. For the town of Searsport, the assessment will be $2,050,930. For the town of Stockton, $1,693,891.67, for a total of $3,744,821.67. The explanation is the regional school unit's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Program and Services Funding Act, is the amount of money determined by state law to be the minimum amount that the regional school unit must raise and assess in order to receive the full amount of state dollars. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I will move the question and read only the totals again. To be appropriated, $7,319,989.20, and to be raised, $3,744,821.67. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 13, to see what sum the regional school unit will raise and appropriate for the annual payments on debt service previously approved by the regional school unit voters for non-state funded school construction projects and non-state funded portions of school construction projects, in addition to the funds appropriated as the local share of the regional school unit's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12. The school board is recommending $0, the explanation being that non-state funded debt service is the amount of money needed for the annual payment on the regional school unit's long-term debt for major capital school construction projects that are not approved for state subsidy. The bonding for any long-term debt was previously approved by the regional school voters. So, I'll take a motion on the school board's recommendation.
So moved.
And seconded. Any questions or comments? Those in favor of recommending $0 then, please indicate. And those opposed? I don't know how anybody could oppose raising $0. That's Article 14, and this is the article that requires a written ballot. To see what sum the regional school unit will raise and appropriate in additional local funds. The school board recommends $2,014,270.80, which exceeds the state's essential program and services allocation model by $1,675,283.94. The school board gives the following reasons for exceeding the state's essential program and services funding model. The essential programs and services funding model does not recognize all of the costs of the special education services, transportation services, and instructional services that the regional school unit provides. The additional local funds are those locally raised over and above the regional school unit's local contribution to the total cost of the funding of public education from kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Program and Services Funding Act, and local amounts raised for the annual payment on non-state funded debt service that will help achieve the regional school unit's budget for educational programs. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Do the ballot clerks have ballots ready, or do you want them to use their cards, or? You have ballots ready? All right. How do you want to handle it, Deb? Okay, so you'll need to go to the table, show them your card that you got when you signed in before. They'll give you the written ballot for your, go to your respective town. And when everyone has voted, we'll come back together. All right, I'll declare the ballot box closed, and the clerks will count the ballots while we continue on with the warrant. Article 15. Article 15 summarizes the proposed school budget. To see what sum the regional school unit will authorize the school board to expend for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2016 and ending June 30, 2017, from the regional school unit's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, non-state funded school construction projects, additional local funds for school purposes under the Maine Revised Statutes, Title 20A, Section 15690, unexpended balances, tuition receipts, state subsidies, and other receipts for the support of schools. The school board recommends $10,043,860, and this is the sum of Articles 1 through 11. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll move the question. The school board recommends the amount of $10,043,860 for Article 15. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 16 authorizes expenditure of grants and other receipts. In addition to amounts approved in the preceding questions, shall the school board be authorized to expend such other sums as may be received from federal or state grants or programs or other sources during the fiscal year for the school purposes, provided that such grants, programs, or other sources do not require the expenditure of other funds not previously appropriated. And this would allow RSU 20 to expend grants that they may receive from state, federal, or private programs. This is a simple yes or no vote. So those in favor of yes on that question? Thank you. And anyone opposed? All right, the motion carries. Article 17 authorizes the Career and Technical Region budget. Show Region 7 Waldo County Technical Center's operating budget as approved by the Cooperative Board for the year beginning July 1, 2016 through June 20, 2017, be approved in the amount of $1,847,879.05. Thank you, Deb. Could I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? Oh, I'm sorry. I heard someone say question and I couldn't see who.
I believe you read June 20th for the record. You might want to correct it to June 30th.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is June 30th on the warrant. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? And I do appreciate it picking me up if I misread something, because it needs to be right. All right, those in favor of the motion? Thank you. And those opposed? The motion carries. On question Article 14, the vote was 26 yes and 7 no. So the motion carries. Article 18 authorizes the adult education budget for the career and technical region and raises the local share. Article 18, shall Region 7 Waldo County Technical Center approve a budget for adult education in the amount of $39,000 for the year beginning July 1, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, with authorization to expend any additional, incidental, or miscellaneous receipts in the interest and well-being of its adult education program. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Any question or comment? I'll move the question then. Shall we approve the Region 7 Waldo Technical budget in the amount of $39,000? Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. Those opposed? The motion carries. Article 19 authorizes the disposition of any additional state subsidy received. In the event that the regional school unit receives more state education subsidy than the amount included in the budget, shall the school board be authorized to use all or part of the additional state subsidy to decrease the local cost share expectation as defined in Title 20A, Section 15671-A, parentheses B, parentheses 1, parentheses B, for local property taxpayers for funding public education as approved by the school board. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Questions or comments? Those in favor of the motion? Thank you. And those opposed? The motion carries. Don't forget that the school budget will be voted on June 14th at your polling places in each town, and we're finished.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.